News about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is getting worse by the day. So I'm going to discuss the reasons why and what you can do to help. The UN, the United Nations, particularly the Relief Agency, has been plagued by accusations of Hamas uh, soldiers being employed by the organization, which they denied for a long time. But the evidence mounted, including accusations by Israel that members of Hamas who were involved in the October 7 attack at the music festival in Israel were employed by the organization. The UN did an internal investigation. In many instances, they determined that the accusations were untrue. In others, they determined that there was insufficient evidence, but they actually let 9 people go as a consequence of their investigation. And the UN has always been plagued by accusations that relief intended for the Palestinian citizens was being confiscated by Hamas or redirected to Hamas. And in fact, in its entire history, Hamas has taken funds and assets intended for the citizens and used it to fund terrorism. So there's no question that the UN and its anti-Israel sentiment and its relation with Hamas have been impediments to humanitarian aid. There have also been accusations that Israel has fabricated much of this, but the reality is it has been very complicated. And so if you're concerned about relief getting to the actual citizens in Gaza who are suffering, those in need of food, medical supplies, and so forth, there are alternatives to the UN available for private giving. There is an organization called the Multifaith Alliance that is partnering with Isra Aid. Isra Aid is a nonprofit, so is Multifaith. And Isra Aid is involved with people in Israel, in Jerusalem, who have boots on the ground, who are coordinating efforts and know the lay of the land, so to speak. So they're partnering to get relief to the Palestinians. There is an organization called Navigator, which is a wonderful organization that compiles information on major nonprofit organizations and assigns a star rating, 4 stars being the maximum, to evaluate and provide a source for people interested in giving to be able to identify which charities are consistent with their giving purposes and how good they are at what they do. And Charity Navigator has given its maximum 4-star rating to Isra Aid and rates it at a 95%. Multi-Faith Alliance is actually, I believe, fairly new. And so at this point anyway, I looked today, but at this point anyway, it does not have a Charity Navigator rating. Charity Navigator allows you to search not only by specific charitable organization, but also by subject matter, what it is, what kind of relief you're looking at. And so you can go to the search bar on Charity Navigator and enter Gaza relief or just Gaza, and it will come up with a listing of charitable organizations that you can give to that are helping with relief in Gaza. I took a look at that also. Most of them were unrated, but there were several that are rated, some very, very highly. If you decide to go that route, another word to the wise, some of these organizations that give are organized not just to give necessarily for that one cause, but to many causes. Multi-Faith Alliance and Isra Aid are 2 examples of that. They give to all kinds of things. So if you are interested in giving to Gaza and you like one of these organizations, but they are a general charitable organization that are organized to help with other causes, you can typically check on their site and see if there's a means to specify that the funds that you give go specifically to Gaza. So for all of you who are interested, consider doing that. And if you know people who are Palestinian sympathizers and have been engaged in protests against Israel and supporting BDS and so forth, ask them, are you really, really concerned about the Palestinians in Gaza? Or is this just about vilifying Israel? And ask them, if you are serious about helping with relief in Gaza, here's something you can do. Here's some organizations you can give. You can make a difference.